Welcome to Behind the Scrubs Couch, where real stories, expert voices, trusted health conversations come together. Before we begin, please remember that this interview is for educational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice. If you enjoy credible health content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification to African Health Excellence. Now grab a seat. The conversation starts now. Welcome back to Behind the Scrubs Couch, where we go beyond professional titles to discover the remarkable people behind healthcare. I'm your host, Sylvia Maseko-Mhlanga, and today we are honored to be joined by an extraordinary pediatrician, entrepreneur, mentor, and leader whose influence extends far beyond the consulting room. She's a pediatric specialist at Netcare Sunning Hill Hospital, founder and CEO of Dr. Lethabo Machaba Inc., founder of the business side of medicine, co-director of the African Female Pediatrician Network, an author, educator, TV producer, and passionate advocate for empowering healthcare professionals to thrive both clinically and in business. Through her leadership, she has mentored countless doctors, championed pediatric healthcare, and inspired healthcare professionals to build meaningful and sustainable careers. Her outstanding contribution to healthcare has earned her a nomination for the 2026 African Health Excellence Awards. And today we are so excited to discover the woman behind these many achievements. You wear many hats, Dr. Lethabo. But yeah, welcome to Behind the Scrubs Couch. It's an honor to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. It's so nice to meet a like-minded, person. I'm really honored to be part of this podcast series and also just to engage with your audience. It really is an honor. I look up to you, and I've been following you for a long time. So I'm really excited. My team is also behind me. They are also very excited that we also get to be be part of Behind the Scrubs.
No, I'm as excited, Dr. Lethabo, like I was telling you before, the recording that, yeah, I follow you on Instagram and I follow the work that you do. It's really amazing. I'm also excited, to meet a like-minded person. So, but let's kick things off with our Behind the Scrubs quick fire round
Yeah.
where you must answer the first thing that comes to mind. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So if someone gave you a completely free day tomorrow, would you
Mm.
spend it at home or exploring somewhere new? What would you do with just a free day?
With my husband and 3 children. That would be my
Oh.
priority at home because I'm always at work. So,
Mm-mm.
it's for me, I always say quality versus quantity. So, any opportunity to give them quality and memories, I would spend it at home. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. No, that's great. And if you could instantly master one musical instrument, which one would it be?
For me, it would be the violin. It's one piece
Mm.
of instrument, but the amount of notes and
Mm.
music and variation of
Mm.
sound that it produces, it's
Mm.
amazing. So I always say, I love the mastery of one. There's a quote that says, Jack of all trades, master of none, but better than a master of one. So it's
Oh,
one piece of
okay.
equipment, but it
Mm. Mm.
produces so much diversity that it can entertain even a whole stadium.
No, that's a very powerful one. And what's one book you've read more than once?
There's quite a few.
Mm.
Um, for me, Sylvia, I know it's controversial. The Bible, people get upset. These days,
I
people
said
get
the
very
Bible.
upset.
You guys cheat us with the Bible because we
I'm
know that
telling
like
you.
it's one book that you read for, the
But
rest of your
okay, the
life.
second one. The second
Mm.
one is The Diary of a CEO by Steve Bartlett. I
Oh,
love that
okay.
book. Everybody who's been on any of my business platforms know that I quote him these 5 buckets. I love
Mm,
them so
mm,
much. And that's a book that I
mm,
read all the time. And
mm.
actually, I gift it to people. I
Mm.
probably gifted more than 50 of his books or more than 100 of his books to people.
Wow.
So yeah,
Oh,
that's one of the
okay.
books that, without cheating, using the Bible. Second one
Mm.
is that one, The Diaries of a Sea.
Okay. That is fair. That we can accept. And which family member knows you the best?
Well, I guess it will have to be my husband. We met
Mm.
when we were young. We met when we were 18 years old.
Wow,
And
that's
we've
nice.
known each other for 22 years.
Mm.
So then, yeah, I feel like my kids are still young. They are 11, 7, and 8.
Mm.
So if there's somebody who's my friend, my close friend, they call him my handbag. It's
Mm.
him. So
Mm.
he will
Mm.
even know if there's no outfit, if I've
Mm.
left an outfit, he will know which one I will wear for each occasion, if I can
Mm.
put it that way.
Wow. Wow.
Yes,
No,
yes.
he really knows you.
Yes, no, he
And if
does.
you and if your life had a color, what color would it be?
Blue, the sky, the beautiful
Oh.
sky, limitless, endless
Mm.
horizons. Yes, I
Mm.
love blue. I'm an earthy person. I do love
Okay.
earthy colors, but I honored you, Sylvia. I wore red.
And you know what? Red is my favorite color.
Oh,
It took,
wow.
yeah, it took so long for my husband to say, you know what, this red, because I always had red nails, like
Yeah,
always, like it was, they knew at the salon where I do my nails that they must not even ask me a color because my color is
yes,
red. But yeah, my husband had to convince me so much that we are tired of this red. Hey,
of
this red.
these
So
red
now I
nails.
struggle because now I have to choose which color now. I'm so confused. But yeah, thank you so much. It means you connected in the spirit that red is my favorite color.
I'm telling you, I'm so thankful because I don't really wear bright colors, but I
Mm,
just, yeah, because I just, yeah, I honored you. So I'm happy we're connected in the spirit. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
All right. And what's one thing you wish you had more time for?
Um, to be honest with you, I think with age and with leadership and serving other people,
Mm,
I
mm,
always feel like we never have enough time for our family. To be honest, so one
mm,
thing that I feel I have enough time for, really, I wish my children. I wish I could give more time to my
mm,
immediate family. I know
mm,
now people always say the people who will be standing the last with you and who will be there at the end. It's our family. Everybody
mm.
else will be busy shooting podcasts. Some will be
You know?
some will be on vacation. And with us as doctors, the
Mm,
calls will not even allow us to attend. I don't know how many people's
sure.
funerals I've missed while attending to a resuscitation in the neonatal ICU where
Mm,
I work. So for
mm,
me, I feel like, yeah, and I'm hoping there'll come a time where I can give them more time. I try and live a balanced life, but I really
mm,
feel like I can always give them an extra time. Yeah.
mm, mm. Okay, and which word best describes your personality?
Bubbly,
Mm,
bubbly,
okay.
loud. Yes,
Mm,
bubbly, loud,
mm.
and warm. I think people do say I'm warm. So I think because
Oh.
I lay my
Mm,
cards on the table.
mm,
I'm
mm,
very outspoken and I talk a lot. I love people. I love talking. So
mm,
whatever it is that you hear with my mouth, really just know it is coming from my heart. So yeah,
mm.
yeah.
Okay. And which song uplifts your mood instantly?
Sure. I'm not a song person, Sylvia. I'm
Mm.
one of those people who listens to podcast TED Talks. So, yeah,
Okay.
so one song, if I were to choose a song, yeah, my husband always finds it weird. I used to think I'm weird
Mm,
until I actually read about the 5 qualities of the most successful people. So
mm,
they exercise at 5 a.m., but I'm not a 5 a.m. person, but I exercise.
mm,
They read books. And
mm,
the third thing that they do is actually listen to podcasts. They
mm,
listen, we listen to talk as if it's music, and then
mm,
obviously other stuff like networking and then investment and all of that. Yeah, so for
mm,
me, but if I were to choose one song, obviously it would have to be a gospel song. I've got many of them, but something
mm,
that helps me acknowledge that, um, there's me, but there's a God who created me and there's purpose. There's a
Mm,
purpose about my life. And I feel that, yeah, any song that speaks to that, that
mm,
is a
mm.
song that I listen to and love. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. So now, Dr. Lethabo, before all the titles and achievement, who was little Lethabo? How did she grow up? How was the childhood? Jay, take us through your family and your upbringing.
So, Sylvia, I grew up in Limpopo in Venda to
Mm,
a Venda mom and then a Pedi dad.
mm,
Something that I actually have been mentioned about my dad is that
mm,
he was a farmer and he used to
mm.
like wearing khaki pants, khaki shirts, and khaki
Okay.
hats.
Mm,
If you are from Limpopo that time, you would know that that was something only associated with Afrikaans farmers.
mm,
So I
mm,
grew up under a dad who was a businessman, who was a
mm,
farmer and very resourceful. They even used to call him Basa. Those who are Venda people would know what Basa mean, you know.
mm,
And
mm,
my mom was she, funny enough, she was even more resourceful. She used to sell Tupperware and took
mm,
us to school using Tupperware. So we
mm,
almost have the best of both worlds where we had a successful dad, but somehow
mm,
my mother always took us back to working hard.
mm,
Even though we had a nanny, she would always have to
mm,
wash your own clothes, wash your own shoes. And when we
mm,
were young, we didn't understand that. We'd actually get very angry, thinking that, she's not
mm,
allowing us to enjoy our father, or our
mm,
father's
mm,
achievements.
mm,
But yeah, growing up in Venda, it was a village. So I'm not a
mm,
city girl. I grew up running bare feet in the fields,
mm,
eating mangoes, eating bananas. And as
mm,
well, one thing about Venda was that we did not have much. We didn't have malls at that time when I grew up there. Even there now, there's only one mall, and that's like 42 years later. Um,
mm,
so we used to actually didn't have much of entertainment. Either one thing, you were out in the shebeens, or or
mm,
doing nothing, living a redundant life, or you were
mm,
at school. And thankfully for me, most of our community setups, which I believe probably is the same for a lot of people from rural villages, was we ended up going into church communities for fun.
mm,
So things like trips to coming to the city, sports, concerts. I got involved in drama at the
mm,
time. Miming, dancing, all of
mm,
that. I'm so thankful that I was able to go into a community center
mm,
proposed by a church that we could actually get involved in. So I grew
mm,
up in a family of six siblings.
mm,
I'm one of six, one of seven, and as well with parents of two different cultures. Village
mm,
life, but you know what? I must say there were humble beginnings, to be honest. But I'm so
mm,
thankful for that time because I feel like it made me who I am today. I always feel like I'm
mm,
very versatile. If you put
mm,
me in a shack, I'll be fine. If you put me in a five-star hotel, I'm fine. If you
mm,
serve me cheap fish, I'm very happy. If you give me
mm,
rib-eye steak with
mm.
caviar, I'm also very happy. So yes, that was my
Okay.
upbringing. Yeah.
Mm, mm, no, that's great. I guess maybe then, you got maybe your entrepreneurial genes from both your parents, because I mean, even if you are selling a Tupperware, but you are still an entrepreneur because it teaches you how to sell. And I'm always grateful, for that opportunity, because also growing up, my mom, you used to sell what vegetables, clothes, salt,
Wow.
like everything. And
Yeah.
like you are saying, when you are still a child, you feel like, yo, you see this woman, I want to go and play. And now I must go to people's houses and sell. And you learn, a rejection at an early age. But now, when I
Yeah.
look back and I look at, the business world, I'm appreciative of that, experience, because now, even if you reject my proposal or whatsoever, it's okay. I go to the next door and walk. And you know what? I don't even take it personally, because sometimes you'll go to someone's house before you even touch the gate. They'll be like, we don't have money. And you're like, but
Yeah.
you didn't even see what I'm selling. So, yeah, it means you just had that maybe opportunity as well, and that experience of, having parents that were both entrepreneurs, since your father was a farmer and your mother was selling, so you had that advantage. Okay, but growing up, what did
Mm.
you dream of becoming? Did you dream of becoming a doctor or an entrepreneur? I just want to know the little Lethabo now dreaming when you were young.
So you know what? When I was growing up, another thing I didn't share was we grew up with a brother who was born with a liver disease that was not compatible with life. Because of rural
Mm,
health,
mm,
um, we are not sure. I don't think my parents ever knew the diagnosis, but it sounds like he had biliary atresia. He was
mm,
apparently only meant to live until he was age 2, but he
mm,
managed to live until 21. And for
mm,
me, we treasure the memories we really had, and we didn't know what it felt like to grow up in a house with a non-sick child in the house. We were
mm,
very happy. We played, we did everything. But one thing,
mm,
Sylvia, that I used to like to do was to sneak into his bedroom the times when he would be sick in between
mm,
hospitals. I would
mm,
sit in there and then I would rub his legs and tell him stories. That's why I
mm,
say my talk, I would talk for hours and even
mm,
come up with imagination, stories, anything that I saw, I would exaggerate. And he used to love it. So then that gave me a dream, to say, I always knew
mm,
that somehow I might be in the health or hospitality industry. But as
mm,
well, as you said, growing up with a mother like my mother, you become resilient, especially when it comes to sales. We used to even
mm,
travel to
mm,
outskirts of Venda, like places where there was no water or anything, and find
mm,
women living in a Randaville still buying Tupperware and treasuring it. So
mm,
I always knew that whatever it is will be in health, number one, and number
mm,
two, in business. But thirdly, I always knew I want to hear my voice. I
mm,
always, even
mm,
now when I'm talking on stages, I still remember my
mm,
brother and how he would laugh and laugh. And even when he
mm,
was sick, the first thing he would
mm,
ask for is Lethabo. Lethabo must come in. And I would
mm,
just start and talk and laugh and animate and act.
mm,
So
mm,
for me, yeah, I think for me, my if there is such a thing as people will say, if there was a destiny, it was
mm,
already within birth, already carved that it will be in health. And that is why
mm,
I don't mind being around sick people. Even at
mm,
work, I spend a lot of time with the mothers and their babies. I sit
mm,
with them even 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We chat,
mm,
I tell them stories, we laugh. And you know what? And I like the fact that people will say, no, you know what? You can go home if you want to. But it
mm,
really is just, it comes naturally. I love it. I enjoy
mm,
it. And you won't
mm.
believe, Sylvia, I'm still a storyteller even today. Like I
Wow.
and I feel that when you're raising premature babies, I mean, we spend about 6, 7 months with the mom. So
Mm, mm,
you
that's
need
true.
that skill. That's a skill that I feel that came naturally. So yeah, so
Mm,
three things: health, entrepreneurship, and speaking. That for me at an
mm,
early age, I already knew that's I'll end up in one of the two or one of the
mm.
three. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And God
Yeah.
made it possible for you to find yourself now doing everything that you ever dreamed of growing up.
Imagine, imagine. I mean,
You know,
yeah,
all
I
the
really have to
boxes ticked.
tick the boxes. That can only be grace. I'm telling you, where really
Mm,
the desires of our
mm,
hearts get met. We only know that, yeah, really that's a God story, especially
mm.
coming from a rural village. I don't know if
Yes.
you grew up in a village as well, Sylvia. People like us, you don't
Mm,
even see shops or centers
mm.
or
Ah.
big cars. There'll only be one
Mm,
doctor. Oh, another thing I knew,
mm,
Sylvia, was that the doctors,
mm,
one thing I knew, if there was a Mercedes Benz or a BMW, it
mm,
belonged to the one doctor in the community. So for
mm.
that reason, I wanted to be a doctor. That was the only time you saw a luxury car. It is when a
Mm,
doctor in the
mm,
community was driving by, and then our parents
mm,
would say, "Yeah, you see, that is the doctor." Yeah.
mm, mm. All right. No. And who has been the greatest influence in your life?
So for me, I must say, I've had my mom, but a lot of mother figures, to be honest. My
Mm,
mom died when we
mm,
were young. She died when I was about 15 years old. But
mm,
when they say somebody has taught you it's almost they knew that they were not going to be on earth for long, and they gave you all the
Mm,
pearls. So she
mm,
taught me resilience. Even though I'm just still young, I still feel like I have so many proverbs and
mm,
pearls of wisdom from an older generation.
mm,
Things like all these old tales and things that they will teach you. And I
mm,
must say, even later on in my life, I've had opportunities to have mother figures,
mm,
even just in the church, in the community. When you grow up as like an orphan or motherless, not that I was an
mm,
orphan, my father was there, but I found
mm,
that a lot of the women in the community would always come and try and mother me, meaning
mm,
that either they take me with when they are going to sell, they take me with to meetings, and as well, the
mm,
rahadis in our families. In Sutu, our mother figures, we call them rahadis. So my
mm,
rahadis have always been hustlers.
mm,
The Machaba family. Even
mm,
now, we went to a birthday of one of our 80-year-olds aunt, and
mm,
as well, she was even telling us how, besides even selling tomatoes and everything, now she's even into property, and she's still into property
mm.
in the rural
Wow.
villages, and
Mm.
giving out
Oh,
residences to more than 100 students. And not only does
wow.
she give them
Mm.
residence, she mothers them. So even
Wow.
at the party, there it looked like a party of a chief because of
Yeah.
the pouring into the lives that she did. She's not just a landlord. She makes sure she
Mm,
takes everything. So for me,
mm,
the woman in a community, I really am a child who was raised by a village. And for
mm,
those of you who come from a village like I do, you know that you get
mm,
beaten by anyone. I've been
mm,
slapped, I've been pinched, I've been
mm,
spoken into, that thing of, no, don't stand in the corner with boys. If I ever see you with a
mm.
boy,
Yeah.
and then
Mm,
you think, they're so mean, only to
mm,
realize that no, they want you to focus. All they're trying to
mm,
say is the true language is focus on
mm,
what you need to be successful. So
mm,
really, I am gonna speak about my mom, my aunt, my rahadis, my grandmother, Kuku Sintlanyana, taught me how to pray. She used to pray
mm.
for hours, and I would
Yeah.
even fall asleep. And I didn't
Mm,
know people can pray for hours, but I'm not gonna
mm,
lie, it took adulting to make me realize why you need to pray for hours. When you become an adult and you have to now as well have a family, children, or lead other
mm,
people, really you
mm.
realize that you need help, you need wisdom, and you need to really spend a lot of time in the quiet space and just with God to download good wisdom to be able to execute yourself.
No, that's true. And it shows, the big role that mothers play, in our lives. Because I remember also, I was excited inside when you mentioned that, because that's what I always mention about, or that's what I always say about my mother, that it's as if she knew that she was not going to be on earth for a very long time. When I look at the training that she gave us when she was still alive, and I believe that is why we are so resilient, we are so strong, we can face anything. She introduced us to God. It's like she completed the full syllabus in a short space of time, and then she
Yeah.
was gone, and we managed to even live after that. And it is always my prayer, to say, Lord, can I, because obviously you don't know how long you are going to live, but it is always my
Yes.
prayer to say, Lord, can you help me to teach my kids,
Yes.
how to live, or train them in a way that even when I'm gone, they'll still be strong and be able to press on. It's just a pity that I feel like, the kids that we are raising these days, Lethabo, I feel like
Eh,
they are such a weak generation. I don't know what's wrong with them, but I feel like maybe
Yes.
they want instant things. They don't believe in hard work.
Yes.
They believe in, no, things must be easy for us. Things, what,
Yeah.
why must we sweat for things? And, it's bad.
Yeah, no, but we have a big responsibility. It seems like we have a few things in common besides the rest.
That's what
You know,
I'm noticing.
we always they call us motherless mother. But when you said that, you just reminded me of something that anti-fragility. We always talk
Mm,
about resilience. I'll just use the
mm,
baobab tree because I'm from Limpopo and from a village. They always say
mm,
one of the reasons the baobab tree survives dry and drought seasons is,
mm,
number one, it sheds its leaves during dry seasons when it sees that it's going dry. And then
Mm,
number two, it uses its wet trunk to capture and store every single moisture that it can get. And then thirdly, most importantly, it takes its roots down, deep down and
mm,
across to take
mm,
water from the bottom and also from any. So other plants will die and then it will survive. So I always
mm,
say women like us who've had to really survive without moms, or just any woman, even if you have moms, where
mm,
you've had to
mm,
build a resilience beyond, you become
mm,
anti-fragile. And anti-fragile just means that you become diversified. You learn how to
mm,
shed leaves, store water, take your roots down. And for
mm,
me, I
mm,
feel that that's something that we modern moms need to learn to transfer to our kids. But
mm,
I must say, I do admire the Arabics. I've had a few
mm,
opportunities to travel with my kids, and they
mm,
come from wealth. But I've seen even the Jewish community, how even
mm,
from a young age they transfer their principles to their
mm,
children.
mm,
Even with me, I'm very deliberate with my kids. Like every night, even my nanny was calling me, telling me that, sure, these kids, I was trying to get them to sleep. They refuse to sleep without praying. They
mm,
said, no, no,
wow.
no, in
Mm,
this house, whether mommy
mm,
is not there or not. And I was
mm,
very impressed because they're 11, 7, and 8. And they said, no, the
wow.
7-year-old starts to take the Bible, and then this one prays,
Mm,
this one shares something. And then she
mm,
said, wow, I wish I could do that for my kids. So I said, no, you just need
mm,
to teach them, and
mm,
as well, now that
mm,
I've even given them some bank cards, I've heard they are refusing to swipe for food. So they
wow.
understand that no, I'd rather use somebody else's money, don't use yours.
Mm. Already, they are entrepreneurs. They are very strategic. They know how to budget.
Yes, no, they know how to budget. So don't worry, Sylvia,
Mm,
you're doing well. You'll be
mm,
surprised. I'm sure you've also heard things about your kids where you're like, wow, is that my kids?
mm,
Did they actually
mm,
do that? So
mm,
somewhere, somehow, I think we are leading by example. They are watching. So
mm,
we mustn't be too hard
mm,
of ourselves. But I understand what you're saying because I'm a ped. I see
mm,
the level and quality of child that comes into my rooms. They can
mm.
break anything, they can smash anything. Parents
Oh,
just watch. And
eish.
then I'm not surprised when at 3 years, then they come at 6, 7 years, and they say the teacher said that child is ADHD. And I always
Mm,
wonder, is it truly ADHD or is this a discipline
mm,
issue?
mm,
Because
mm.
I know we were beat. You would never do this
Too
with your mom.
much. Yo. Mm.
You would never, and they would give you a look of you, that
Yeah.
look, you even know the look that
Mm,
if I don't respond right now and put myself in
mm.
shame, I'm going to regret this, you know.
That's true. Yeah, my mom was worse because, like, she would use anything that she comes out, whether it's a cup, whether it's a glass, whatever that is in proximity,
Yes,
she will use that, and you will be okay. So you knew that look, even at church when you misbehave, and then you
yeah,
see that look, and then you know that you know what I must
I
just
must put myself, yeah, shoes, remember shoes,
mm,
caps, you
mm,
just feel it.
mm,
And Sylvia, I once actually told my daughter about this, the 11-year-old, I think she was
mm,
8. How did she
mm,
not cry the whole
mm.
night, crying? What's
Oh,
wrong? What's
shit.
wrong? Then in the morning, she's like, Mommy, you
Mm.
were abused.
Yeah.
So now I said, No, we were not abused. So she said, They
Exactly.
beat you.
Mm,
So we had to
mm.
actually spend days, me and my husband, debriefing, telling
Shame.
her that
Oh,
no, in our
man.
times, it
Mm,
was normal. Everyone we
mm.
knew, any culture,
Exactly.
any race, it was happening to
Mm,
them. So my husband said, No, my lady, even daddy used to get beat. We knew.
mm,
And we still love
mm.
our parents. We did not see it as
Exactly.
punishment. Okay, punishment, yes, but not abuse. But you see
Mm,
how now
mm,
every couple of years the
mm,
teachings. Because now if you beat a
mm.
child, you end up in psychology and
You,
social worker. Hey?
you know, now
Near
this
the peak,
child
they
has to
tell
go
me,
through therapy.
yeah, they come
Mm.
and they whisper, Doctor,
Sure.
she
Yeah.
beats me. She
Ooh.
beats me. And I
Sure.
don't want to tell my teacher, I'm telling you. And
Mm.
then I have to now go with
Sure.
the parents to say, you know
Sure.
what, you're going to be in trouble. Social worker, they'll
Mm.
take this child. So
Ah.
yeah.
Sure. These days it's really tough. Yeah, because growing up we didn't consider that as abuse. Even I'm thankful for that experience because my mom was
Yes,
so strict. And I feel like it helped us because you knew that I must behave, I must be disciplined, I must
yes,
do like even when you are in varsity, it was as if she's there with you, but you knew that
yes,
I must behave because if I don't, hey, and my mom hears that I'm misbehaving, yeah, it's gonna be tough.
yes.
So I feel like it really assisted us. It's just that yeah, this generation, Shem, is a very different generation, and
Generation.
now we have
Yes.
to
No, no,
discover
that's
new
true.
ways
But
of
I guess
parenting.
we have to do intentional parenting,
Mm,
where we literally give them the principles, discipline, and even though we can't hit them, we can still
mm,
apply consequence. Where
mm,
if you do this, where you take away certain, for me, I take away their allowances. For
mm,
example, they
mm,
get 45 minutes of screen time in the weekend. They get
mm,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a 1 hour,
mm,
1 hour, 1 hour. But if you
mm.
didn't do your homework, if you didn't finish this, you will miss a day. And I'm
Mm,
telling you, it's enough. And I had my parents with teenagers saying that Wi-Fi, you just switch off the Wi-Fi. To them,
mm.
it's like a desert. With no Wi-Fi, it's
Yeah.
like, no, mommy and daddy, I'm sorry, forgive me. I will never ever do it again. So we brought our weapons. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. But I'm curious to know then, especially as a parent, Dr. Litabo, if they spend like you give them 1 hour, especially on weekend, then the rest of the time, what do they do? How do they keep themselves busy?
So, I don't forget, boredom is the mother of invention. So, with
Mm,
me in my house, because there are three of them, the playtime
mm,
is quite extensive. I'm just thankful I do have a garden. So, when they were young,
mm,
I invested in that jumping castle. There's that jumping castle you always find
yes.
in restaurants. I've got a 12-meter
Mm,
one that
mm,
even the neighborhood kids come. So, I'm running a crash, and I've got a trampoline and I've
mm,
got bicycles. So, when they
mm.
come from school, it's leisure. It's literally play, 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 play. My kids
Oh,
even cook
yes.
mud. At one
Mm.
point, Sylvia, they were so bored. I saw them cooking mud like how we used to cook mud because they
Shame, and
used to
it's
take my
helping them.
sugar and my flour from my kitchen. And then I told the nanny, I said, no, this is not budget friendly. So now they
Mm,
even learned how to cook mud. And then, but then at night,
shame.
obviously, then we transition. I've got a lot of board games. They play a lot of
Mm,
board games. And now
mm.
it is the era where they are doing homework. So it's easier
Oh.
because then there's a lot of work. They have a tutor's work. There's a tutor that comes to my house 2 or 3 times a week. She gives them
Mm.
homework. And then the schools give them homework as well. So they spend a lot of
Oh.
time on homework, but then which means that it then becomes very heavy parenting. I'm not
Mm,
gonna lie because
mm,
I don't know how many times I've paid cash flow, how many times
mm,
I've played
mm,
Monopoly, how many
mm,
times I've had to play, so many board games that, even now
mm,
my husband says if he sees that cash flow, one, two,
mm,
three. I remember teaching my son, he would move
mm,
backwards of, of,
mm,
of stay in the same spot and go 1, 2, 3, now to teach him to move forward. And then it's so
mm,
funny because
mm,
even just from that cash flow game, like the other day, he was saying that, property. I just said we are walking down a place, and then my 6 year old that is six is turning 7. He's like, property is like, no, you don't sell property, like cash
mm.
flow, you keep it
Oh,
and you rent it
yo.
out. So here we were thinking we are
Mm,
playing, but
mm,
so yeah, so I just
mm,
keep them very busy. And then sometimes really it just means that they mess up the house because
mm,
then they jump on
mm.
the couches, but obviously you pack up afterwards and
Yes.
yeah, but I find the biggest secret, I must say, befriending my neighbors. And I remember in
Mm,
Johannesburg, in some of these places where we live, in the complexes and the estates, it's not such
mm.
a favorable thing. But
Oh.
I really went, especially during COVID times. I had told those
Mm,
moms that our kids are going to go into terrible, terrible neurodevelopmental delay. My kids were still very small
mm,
at that time. One was
mm,
5, one was 3, one was 2 around. They were still,
mm,
they were all under 5.
mm,
And fortunately, then I turned my house into the house. So I would have kids reporting with lunch teams like a crash. I was
mm,
at work, but my nanny, I used to pay extra and just let them
mm,
play. and whatever. So I really, even with my parents, I encourage play. I say, you know what? You don't need too much space. Get these trampolines with
Mm,
zippers inside and let
mm.
boredom. You'll be surprised when they're bored. My kids build tents with
Yo.
blankets. They build, they
Mm,
even have a routine. If you leave them on a weekend when it's cold and raining, they know they're going to
mm,
build this. Then the lounge
mm,
becomes a campsite. Then the dining room
mm,
becomes this, and then the
mm.
imagination starts. The same storytelling we used to. I remember we used to tell
Oh.
stories using stones because we didn't have toys.
Mm,
And
mm.
then you would build up. Like there was one of my friends, she was so good for 2 hours. It was like watching a movie.
Wow.
They're
Mm,
showing you, and then all obviously, then the father and the mother always goes to the bedroom. You remember?
mm. Yes.
Yes. So, but then with the kids, they do that, but then they have a more imagination because now they've seen a lot. So they will tell you about
Mm,
spaceships, and then this one does that, and it's
mm,
surprised because now I was even telling my daughter, I said she must start writing down all her imaginations because really you
mm,
can turn them into a book.
mm,
It's
mm.
beautiful stories
No.
because they learn storytelling, like how I used to with my brother rubbing his legs. We make them,
Mm,
we use our boredom to get them
mm,
to actually discover their inner self, talk, laugh with each
mm,
other. Yeah.
mm, mm. Okay, and what values from your childhood continue to shape your leadership today? Because I can
So,
see you are such a great leader from the relationship that you have with your team. I wish I was one of your team members. Please hire me.
so you know what? For me, I think growing from humble places, I believe leadership is servanthood. It's serving.
Mm,
I used to see my
mm,
mom with the Tupperware. As I said, we even used to go to villages where there's no water. But those
mm,
women would have, like, for example, a 50 rand to pay for Tupperware. And
mm,
for me, I was able to see that for her, it was more than just making money. It was going
mm,
there, sitting, drinking water, eating a fruit that probably I wouldn't have in my house, eating from a plate that, for example, I
mm,
wouldn't have in my house. And they
mm,
would exchange stories, talk to each other. So for
mm,
me, from my upbringing, I learned that business, as you said, even if they reject you, it's
mm,
you don't see it as that person rejection you. They might not value
mm,
you today, but tomorrow they will.
mm,
You continue to serve them. You need
mm,
that Tupperware
mm,
in your house. What women can't have
mm,
Tupperware in the house? I mean, in the
mm.
villages, even it's still the case.
Exactly.
So you
Mm,
need a
mm,
woman needs good pots. A woman needs good cutlery. And I think
mm,
for me, going with my mom, I was always the child in the car with her, even at night. I
mm,
realized that she understood the value of what she has, and
mm,
she wanted
mm,
them to understand the value. And she kept on giving to those who said yes, to those who said no. So for me,
mm,
I feel that that's how I really run my businesses and my organizations. We serve.
mm,
It's not about me being on top of you and you being at the bottom. We're different
mm,
roles. Even if you are a
mm,
PA or the project manager,
mm,
if we both need to serve each other. You need to serve me, I need to serve your needs, you need to serve my
mm,
needs. We need to serve these people's needs and understand the community impact that's going to arise. And I think the greatest lesson was when my mom died. I don't know how many people called me to their house to give
mm,
me
mm.
something. And,
Sure.
even if it was
Mm,
money or clothes, just to say,
mm,
wow, you know what, your mom. And, even
mm,
now, I'm still known as Tupperware. Like when I go, some people will
mm,
say, the daughter of the Tupperware lady. Some don't
mm,
remember my name. They'll be like, oh, my mom. Some are now
mm.
teachers, some are now businesswomen.
Oh.
Some are now,
Mm,
they went and became great people because the economy of Venda changed. People in Venda are really doing
mm,
well now. And
mm,
yeah, so I think for me, that's principle number one. And then number two, we call it resilience. But now through Dr. Mamelo, she's made me understand that Narcissism book, what she was writing about anti-fragility. She
mm,
diversified. She could have sat with her husband and said, I've got a husband who's a farmer. He's running some few
mm,
businessmen. Let him be the provider. But she
mm,
understood that you have to be resourceful as an
mm,
individual. You
true.
have to be resourceful, you have to be
Mm,
anti-fragile, you have to be diversified. So I
mm,
think for me, that is why I really am a firm believer in this more than 8 streams of income. I know
mm,
at Divinely we're given 8, but me, I always know that even though I've got a husband who's working,
mm,
and
mm,
me as a woman, as a divine purpose person, I need to do this, I need to do that. So I
Mm,
think for me, seeing that type of leadership and the community impact, especially in a small space like a village, it being
mm,
portrayed and actually watching the benefits of somebody who's died. Like we have seen now aunts and uncles who've died and no
mm,
impact. So yeah, you go to the funeral, the
mm.
kids are suffering. We now, the
Sure.
younger ones, have to take care of our older cousins. And
Mm,
then you see
mm,
the impact of a mom who died after touching a community.
mm,
We knew we were never gonna lack, even though my father's
mm.
businesses went
True.
through some troubled times and obviously he got
Mm,
remarried in a new family. We
mm,
didn't have family anymore, almost like we didn't have
mm,
parents. There was a time where I didn't
mm,
have parents. But
mm,
by
mm,
learning that no, what is in your house, sell it, go
mm,
out,
mm,
talk to
mm,
somebody, give it out.
mm,
So
mm,
those are some of the principles that I feel for me that serve. But when you serve, it must be with purpose and it must have
mm,
impact. If it's not
mm,
touching the people around you, the
mm,
closest people around you as well,
mm.
then something is not okay there.
No, that's true. So, what role does your family play in supporting such a demanding career? Because you are such a busy, busy woman and you still have a family. And obviously, I can tell that you have such a happy family. How does your family then play a role in supporting such a demanding career?
So there's a principle that I actually learned and I apply and live by. Every
Mm,
successful business is a family business. And
mm,
this is Michael E. Gerber in his book. He talks about how, especially physicians, going to burnout and disconnect from loving their job. It's
mm,
because they separate themselves from their families. So the doctor is there working and then comes home. So for
mm,
me, I'm so happy that when my mentor gave me my practice, she actually met with me and my husband many times. And she
mm,
said, she pointed to my husband, she said, I'm not giving her the practice, I'm giving you the practice. And I
mm,
never understood that. I said, no, he's not a doctor. I'm the doctor. Don't say
mm,
that. It's
mm.
me, my business, my money.
Mm,
I'm going to buy
mm,
all these clothes. And,
mm,
Terry kept on saying,
mm,
no, you need to understand that this is you. This is going to be this practice. A practice belongs to a family because when the
mm,
kids are not
mm,
sleeping at night, they need to
mm,
understand why they're sleeping alone at night. And the other
mm,
partner needs to know how to support and what to do about it. And then I
mm,
took it a notch further. Sylvia, you won't believe my Instagram videos you see have been shot by my
mm.
daughter since the age of 6.
Wow, sure.
My
Mm,
content, it's my
mm,
family. So now it's so funny. Mommy is always very tired, but even the
mm.
6-year-old boy now knows that, Mommy, wake up. I saw something. I want to shoot you.
Yeah. Mm,
I want And
yeah.
then it's her, the middle child. So his
Mm,
videos we haven't quite yet uploaded, only one or two. But
mm,
my daughter's videos, and then even the education content. It's so funny because the teachers were saying these children are they are medically and business outspoken because besides being a
mm,
pediatrician, I run some business platforms for doctors. So because
mm,
they shoot the content,
mm,
even this, 80-20 rule, for the
mm.
business laws. They said even
Wow.
sometimes my daughter will quote something like that in an
Mm,
essay, which is far
wow.
beyond her years. So I
Mm,
really stand by that you know what, I know we are scared to involve our families in our businesses,
mm,
but with
mm,
me, I'm happy that my mentorship, and I'm a strong believer in mentorship, taught me to
mm,
say the way it's going to be all consuming as a pediatrician, especially who's taking care of ICU, try and
mm,
bring in your family into your space as much as possible. So my kids
mm,
come to my rooms if I'm on call. We have
mm,
lunch in the restaurant together. Even the waiters know them.
mm,
They know them.
mm,
If we're on holidays, I'm not the one looking for content. As I said,
mm,
they
mm,
spot it. And even my husband now,
mm,
he's there. As I said, he's the handbag. If we're running any workshop, he's there. If it's child friendly, the kids are there. If not,
mm,
then they're at home. When I travel
mm,
globally, even if it's I'm a key opinion leader for some companies, so I do
mm,
scientific presentations. So
mm,
the first 2 3 days will be two company. but my kids are
Mm.
always somewhere in the background. Then the 3, 4, 5 days later, we are on holiday at the same place. So now
Mm.
they don't
Mm.
hate the job because
Yeah.
why? They are part of the job. They are part of the process.
Mm.
So whatever
Mm.
earnings, for example, that I will have had if I spend a time with for example, with the pharmaceutical company, then
Mm.
instead of taking that money and just using it for other luxuries, I will rather
Mm.
reinvest it back to quality with the kids, quality time.
Mm.
And I feel like
Mm.
people like you and me understand that, and I also have learned to live way below my means. Like, like your
Mm.
worried basket. I
Mm.
still live in that
Mm.
house that they were
Mm.
born. I don't want to burden myself. I've got a lot of investment.
Yeah. Mm.
But because I lost a mom when I was young, I actually don't even remember the furniture when we were growing up. What I remember is my
Mm.
mom, what she said to me, what she did with me. So that's what I
Mm.
do with my
Mm.
kids because I
True.
find that some people work so hard to build this
Yeah.
humongous mansion
Mm. Mm.
empire that takes them
Mm.
away until they are 60. Then they die.
Mm.
The kids don't even remember them.
Mm.
I was so
Mm.
sad
True.
when once I heard a story of actually it was told in person when I was working in one of the hospitals. One of the medical professionals mentioned how it's not a doctor, so we are safe. The
Mm.
medical professional mentioned to me how when she went through a divorce, her teenage kids chose to go with the dad.
Sure. Mm.
And she was
Yo.
working in a public hospital, so she actually as
Mm.
well dropped the light bomb for me when I was young
Mm.
before I had kids. And I said,
Mm.
no, there's no way a child can choose a dad and not. So they chose to
Mm.
go with the dad and the stepmom. And she
Mm.
said she fought for them, tried to get custody. When she
Mm.
went in court, the both of the kids took the stage and told the judge,
Sure.
they said,
Mm.
we don't know this woman. She
Sure.
says
She's
she's
never
our
met.
mother. We never see her. And yet, on her side, she said every single cent. I've never even bought
Sure.
myself Gucci bag.
Mm.
I've never
Hey.
even bought myself
Sure.
fancy shoes, dog. Every
Mm.
single cent of
Sure.
mine from these terrible
Yo.
calls in this public hospital,
Mm.
I gave them. They are wearing me, they are dressing me, they are living in my house, they are eating
Sure.
my food. They don't even know that the father didn't pay for any of that. But the kids
Mm.
chose to go. And then she said to me, she said, I hope you are not planning to have kids. And that
Mm.
story
Mm.
stuck with me because as soon as I had kids, even my husband
Mm.
was saying we had no nanny at night. I would be
Mm.
doing Baragwana 36-hour shifts
Sure.
to come
Mm.
home to a
Mm.
baby, like
Mm.
collapse on the couch with a baby on my breast and on my chest
Sure.
because I
Mm.
think that's the two things growing up without a mom and hearing stories like that where I said, you know what, it
Mm.
would really break my heart if my kids were
Sure.
ever to say we didn't know that woman. So yeah, my
Mm.
kids live with me. If they are not on camera, chances are you don't even know they're probably under the table, Sylvia. Maybe I'm going. Mommy's one.
Yes, maybe.
And that's why I even love organizations like the AFPEN, African Female Pediatrician Network. You are
Mm.
allowed to present with your child next to you.
Wow, is
If you
it?
want to
Wow,
breastfeed,
that's
you can
nice.
breastfeed and present. We will get it. If you are
Wow.
teaching us demyelination diseases
Mm.
and syndromes, we will get it.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
we just need to create environments that allow women to thrive and still be able to nurture
Mm.
and remain leaders without being
Mm.
condescended for showing our womanhood.
Mm, mm. No, that's true because sometimes women are not given opportunities because you know that hiring a woman, the next thing she'll be on maternity leave after another. She comes back, and then while you are still enjoying that, oh, she's back, and then she's going to another maternity leave, and then the next thing, hey, the baby has diarrhea, and then next week the baby
Ooh,
has flu, and I think the organization, Baba, like women. Let's not put them in higher positions, and
in
it's
higher
sad, but it is
positions.
yeah, it is the reality, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a pity, but I
Because we are
think
not
women.
supported, Sylvia. We
Mm,
are not supported.
mm,
And I feel
mm,
that as women, then we need to be the change we want to see. We
mm,
need to. That's why I'm very, very passionate and aggressive when it comes to women.
mm,
I try, even in our practice, we have a special insurance in case
mm,
the child breaks something. Because they always come in like,
mm.
it looks so nice.
Oh,
I said, mm-mm.
yeah.
Even if it's
Mm,
nice, break it. If he breaks it, it's
mm,
okay. Let him spill. Let him spill on
mm,
that couch. We have a
Mm,
special service that comes to clean. And I feel
mm,
that even just small places like hospitals and companies not having breastfeeding rooms. I remember when I was working in Bavagwanat, I had to pump and dump my milk. We
mm.
had a very bad bacteria Abamani outbreak.
Oh, sure.
So now
Mm,
I used to take my milk home. I used to find we didn't have a milk room, so I would just go to the
mm,
sleeping room where people would be sleeping. If there was no one, I would then pump. And then one of
mm,
the doctors, one of the pediatricians said, "Hey, she must be careful with the
mm,
contact and all of that. You can take this ABA money home."
mm,
And you know
mm.
how difficult it is to get breast
Sure.
milk. So I would
Yeah.
be expressing just to keep, because I managed to breastfeed my lady for 18 months, but I
Oh.
wanted to do it right. With the second and the
Mm,
third, I was in private practice, so I was more open to formula milk because I
mm,
realized that you
mm.
actually work harder in private practice sometimes because you
Yeah.
are the consultant,
Mm,
you are the reg, you're the medical officer, you are the intern, you are the
mm,
manager, you
mm.
are the CEO, you are
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So in private
Everything.
practice, I did need help with alternative milk, but also
Mm,
just to be able to do it without feeling judged. But I
mm,
feel that
mm,
especially with women like you inspire me. You were able to raise kids
mm,
and still be prosperous and successful. So I
mm,
think as
mm,
long as we can tell these younger, our junior doctors or whichever field they are in,
mm,
our allies or even anybody, to say, you know what,
mm,
you don't have to lose your motherhood skills, your womanhood. You can.
mm,
We did it. We are doing it. We are still doing it. You
mm.
know. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're still.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah,
I'm
like
coming to
you.
work. I've just washed off vomit. The young one,
Mm,
I don't know what he ate. I'm vomited
mm,
on. They are calling to say theater. There's no time to bath.
mm,
There's no
mm,
time. You just
mm,
take water, shoop, and then you get in
mm,
the car, come, scrub up, put on
mm,
everything, go get the baby. Then take a moment,
mm,
to clean yourself and then call home. Okay, babes, or to the nanny, how is the child? Is he fine? And then the
mm.
day continues. Yeah.
Mm, okay. No, interesting. And what life lesson has motherhood, family, or your personal relationships taught you that has also made you a better doctor? Because, I mean, your patients, you can see that you are one doctor that your patients are excited to always go and see because of the extra mile, I believe, that you go when seeing your patients, that it's not just about being a patient, that now this baby is sick and you're treating the symptoms, but I feel like you go beyond treating the symptom or the disease that the child has.
Yes, nurturer. If I were to use one word, we are
Mm,
nurturers. I really have learned in this journey that we are dynamic, we are
mm, mm,
nurturers, and we are
mm,
actually able to do it beyond. I was even telling some of the nurses the other day, we were laughing. He said, you know what, a woman is so nurturing and resourceful. If you were to give her, a woman will even give a 50 to that naughty cousin or the naughty child in the neighborhood. We will make sure that even that one who is
mm,
on drugs is washed. We will
mm,
find a way. Not only we don't just take care of the good and successful ones, we will
mm,
make sure that that one we crossed it while coming to work who's not bathed, who's there
mm,
vomiting because we know they self-inflicted. We will find a
mm,
mama somewhere, pay her to say, go wash him and clean him up.
mm,
We
mm,
truly, truly are nurturers. And I can tell you, Sylvia, even me, my community knows that. Many a times I've even been to houses where there's police and
mm.
couples are ripping each other apart.
Oh.
That
Mm,
I love being a community pediatrician. I enjoy it,
mm,
and
mm,
henceforth, that is why you'll see when something is good, even if you were trying to hide it, it ends up spilling. And these days, the
mm,
vehicles are media, or we going to
mm,
conferencing where now there are so many women there to nurture that we can't. It's
mm,
not practical anymore to just do a one-on-one. We rather put
mm,
them in a hall, get some other experts to also pour into their lives. Let's pour into each other's lives, cry, and then learn concepts.
mm,
And
mm,
continue. So a woman is truly, 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 truly a nurturer. And for
mm,
me, I'm not even gonna lie, I was afraid to have children because of
mm,
growing up without a mother. I didn't
mm,
think I'll ever have children, and some of my siblings don't have
mm.
children by choice. And
Yeah.
when my children came to me, I didn't realize somehow the nurturing. got
mm,
activated, and all those lessons learned from being taken
mm,
care of. So, to whom much
mm.
is given, much
Yeah,
will be
it's
required.
required.
And funny
Mm,
enough, when you feel like I've got nothing to give, all of a
mm,
sudden you realize that that one word that was said to you, that one
mm,
person that gave you that
mm,
outfit, that
mm,
one person that hugged you, that hug was
mm,
not just meant for you alone. That's the hug now that you can actually say, you know what, I've seen that. There's nothing
mm,
coming. You know what?
mm, mm,
You mean to say you don't have food? Which
mm,
woman does not have food in her house? Is there
mm,
such a woman? If they are, then it's fine. I mean, women, even with wealth, can have no food in their house for many other reasons. This is what we're going to do.
mm,
Let's do this.
mm,
Let's sort it out. So I think for me, yes, I really have learned to be a nurturer in business. A successful
mm,
business needs to be nurtured, and it needs to nurture others. If a
mm,
business does not have a value proposition, if it doesn't
mm,
hug your
mm,
clients, they are not coming back. They need
mm.
to be, you know what, even now we're getting a review from our Stadex earrings. I sell Stadex earrings, and I pierce ears, Sylvia.
Oh,
You
is
know,
it?
this
Ah,
lady,
yeah, you are a
it
woman
started
with
during
so
the
many
COVID.
talents.
It started during the COVID times. My mothers were sad. I was trying to cheer them up. So I was
Oh,
during COVID, I had foot traffic and I wasn't
mm,
scared. We were piercing each other with masks, and
wow.
stand at a distance. You don't need to be close. You can still be at a
Mm,
distance.
mm,
And you know what? They were telling us that our online shop retails
mm,
so much of that, the earrings. And
mm,
they were saying, "What's your secret?" So I said, "No, because people don't just want any hug. People want an
mm.
authentic hug. They want a hug
Yeah.
from a nurturer. And that,
Mm,
even without words, I don't have to talk to you to see who you are. I can see your heart.
mm,
And
mm,
business is like that. If you are a generous business that
mm,
gives people value and more beyond that, there's
mm,
no way they won't want to be part of you. The whole world
mm,
can judge you, but those who've
mm,
touched you and had value, they will keep
mm,
on coming until people don't understand. You say, why would you are in a mall, there's
mm.
all these shops with this product. Why are you not taking this one? Why are you having to order? We even get earrings ordered from Cape Town.
Sure. Mm,
Cape Town, Brakpan, Mozambique.
mm,
Mozambique, we can't deliver, but we find ways to get it there. And I
mm,
realized that it's not that people are buying the earring, people are trying to
mm.
put a memory, an emotion,
Yes.
and
Mm,
attach to their lives. They are trying now to
mm.
attach it to a piece of equipment, if I can put it that way.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm. Wow. We are learning a lot, and I feel like we were supposed to have at least 3 hours because we just have a lot. We have a lot. And I'm grateful that you are the last guest for the day, so we can go
Yes.
until 7, because there's
Yes.
just so much to learn from you. But then caring for sick children, is emotionally demanding. And I wonder
Yeah.
then, how do you carry that responsibility while still protecting your own well-being? Because I can imagine being a pediatrician. I remember one of the things, I think I worked for the Department of Health in the hospital for 2 years. I couldn't
Yeah.
cope because yeah, a pit ward, you'll see these sick children, others have been abandoned, and then I'll want to adopt all the kids in the ward. It was just, emotionally, it was too much for me. I couldn't handle it. So that is why I'm curious to know as to then how do you cope emotionally, with, because I can imagine, I mean, some of the children that you treat, they end up dying,
Yeah.
and I can imagine
Yes.
what that does to you as a person.
So, what, I'll give you a scenario easy. Last week, Thursday, I
Mm,
had a bittersweet moment. In the
mm,
morning, I certified a baby who was born premature but with so many congenital deformities. They were
mm,
not keeping with life, parents
mm,
crying everywhere. And
mm,
then at 11, you have a medical doctor. At 11, I had to host a farewell because I do that for my ICU babies. If they've been with me for more than 3 months, I host a
mm,
little farewell party. So,
mm,
one moment you are crying tears, you are shattered. And as much as you can try as a human being to say, I won't care, I'll be hard, like still, we are human. A human being is
mm,
designed to
mm,
feel for others. So here we
mm,
are crying one moment, then at 11, we're crying different tears, tears of joy of a baby who was supposedly born, stillborn. I had to resuscitate that baby. We thought
Mm,
that child will not live, and by
mm,
God's miracle, the baby was fine. And is off the
wow.
vent, sucking bottles, going home, not even on home oxygen. Sometimes we discharge them on home
Mm,
oxygen. So you
mm,
know what? It is not easy. I won't even lie. And where in
mm,
hospitals we're supposed to have debriefing sessions, it doesn't happen. So with me,
mm,
Sylvia, I realized that because I like to problem solve, all these
mm,
debriefing sessions we learn about in med school, we still don't get them even in private hospitals. So number
mm,
one, number two, I create debriefing sessions in my own rooms where I bring parents
mm,
and other parents. So I
mm,
bring everyone, the one who's losing the baby, the one whose baby is doing
mm,
well. We have
mm,
them in my rooms with coffee and tea. And
mm,
then that debriefing session is a crying session. Even the one whose baby is well will cry because there's no way you don't have trauma from a child in ICU. And I'm just so
mm,
happy I make them God centered. And I find that
mm,
even my parents who are not of the same faith with me, they don't mind, they participate. I find a lot of like-minded Christian parents, but some of them won't be Christian, but they just appreciate the opportunity to talk about their baby, or to talk about
mm,
the almost divorce, or the divorce they're going through because of this ICU baby. That's the reality of it.
mm,
So I
mm,
find that, you know what, and also, the studies show that there's a lot of burnout, alcohol abuse, and substance abuse in medical professionals, even amongst
mm,
pediatricians, because of not having an outlet. So for
mm,
me, my faith, number one, and my centerness, I do a lot of quiet time within myself because I get filled from above. That's why even my
mm,
book, I called it Superpowered Moms, Superpowered Couples.
mm,
That
mm,
poweredness for me is powered from above, because I don't know how you can do this journey. I
mm,
cannot do
mm.
this journey
Yeah.
without God in it. I really respect
Mm,
people who can do that. I don't know. And
mm,
even now they are showing that the science always shows those who have faith in ICU, because I take care of intensive care, do better than those without faith. You need a faith and a hope. So I've
mm,
realized that there's a lack of that. So I do a lot of debriefing. And when I
mm,
debrief, sometimes I'm the doctor. I've had mothers comfort me. Even
mm,
one of my
mm,
on we wrote the story in the where Daniel, in the book that I co it's actually a composition where 22 mothers write stories. When her
mm.
baby was dying, she asked me to let the baby go. She said, "No,
Sure.
you,
Mm.
doctor, are the one holding on to my baby. I have made peace that this
Ah,
baby is not gonna
shame.
live." That
Mm,
child was also,
mm,
and I've never seen such strength in my life.
mm,
And
mm.
Sophia, I actually got sick for 2 months. I lost 15
Sure.
kilograms. I got admitted because
Mm.
of that baby. And now the
Yo.
mom has a rainbow child. She sends me every day. She sends me a picture.
Mm.
She's all the way. She's very
Wow.
far from the hospital. She's in an
Mm,
African. I even went to that Afrikaans community, and it was the first
mm,
time I saw that a baby gets put in a small box.
mm.
That, I think,
Sure.
that was the trigger. I didn't know
Mm,
that in a funeral place there's a section for babies. After that, I
mm,
came home. I
mm.
couldn't cope, and I'm
Sure.
so thankful. Then my husband took me to the hospital, and the mom kept on saying, "You are the one." And even when I was sick, she said, "I'm gonna release my baby, but doctor, I
Mm,
need you to make peace with it." So,
sure.
what? I think as well, we are living in an age where we are not just doing doctor to patient relationship, it's a patient centered approach, where
Mm,
now we can actually be vulnerable with our patients. And I
mm,
think that for me
mm.
will even help doctors to not get medical legal. They need to see that we empathize with them, and it breaks
Yeah,
us.
true. Mm, mm,
It's tormenting. I mean, I can't imagine now when I look at somebody else's baby and I'm thinking, what if this was my baby? I
mm,
would not be
mm,
standing. So I feel that, yeah, just creating an open, authentic, realistic communication with parents,
mm,
and I'm so
mm,
thankful now. I've seen like moms. I've had to take care of moms with 4 children, where I've been the PED for all four, or three,
mm,
or families. Like I've got families from Mozambique. They come, you find that there are 4 siblings, and all those kids were
mm.
born with me. And then I have to block like a Friday and see them
Wow.
from
Mm,
the whole day. I just block and I'm seeing that whole family, and then the adults will ask for scripts. But I
mm,
think that
mm,
thing of just building ecosystems and authentic
mm,
peace. If we can nurture that, guys, I really feel like
Mm,
we will
mm,
really, really then also be better doctors, have better
mm,
families, and as well have less
mm,
mental health, you know?
mm, mm.
Yeah.
No, that's true. And looking back, what's one difficult season that prepared you for the woman you are today? Because clearly you are a very, very strong woman. You can't be easily, intimidated or anything like that. You can, go for anything in life.
Yeah, so I think for me, that childhood, you can see I lost a brother and a mother around the same time. My brother died, and I think 2 years later, my mother died. And then also going through a season of lack. Gold is made in hard places, and as well, a lack of resources and a lack of things. And when things look bleak, and it
Mm,
looks like you won't make it, it is so
mm,
funny how then you dig deeper, you
mm,
dig deeper,
mm,
and when you dig deeper and you can't find strength deeper, then you
mm,
reach above.
mm,
I always say people who've never had to reach above, I question if you've ever really been in a
mm,
dark place. So, by
mm,
the time you get to university and friends are not talking to you because you have a husband, you've learned to not sweat the small stuff and to be petty. You've learned to dig deeper. So I feel like lack and poverty really helps us to poverty of anything, poverty of parents, poverty
mm,
of food, poverty
mm,
of clothes, poverty of money. It
mm,
helps you find your deepness. And if you can't find it within yourself, you will find it
mm,
in somebody
mm,
else. And as well, for
mm.
me, I really feel like I found it in God.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm. Okay, no, wow, that's great. And congratulations on your nomination for the 2026 African Health Excellence Awards. Please tell us about the moment you found out that someone out there noticed the work that you are doing and said, you know what, Dr. Lethabo deserves this recognition. How did you feel? Tell us about that moment.
Yo, Sylvia, there's no words for it. I'm so
Mm,
thankful. As much as we are leaders, we give back, we build empires, or we run practices and give.
mm.
We are tow trucks that sometimes need to be towed. And for me, I'm
Mm,
gonna really say that it came at a time where I really felt like, sure, I'm tired. I am
mm,
tired. Sometimes you'll get one or two people say thank you, but people do forget actually to have gratitude. I know
mm,
personally, I always try, but I'm human as well. But you know
mm,
what? I really felt that you gave me hope.
mm,
You
mm,
gave me, it was like water in the desert. Because
mm,
sometimes,
mm,
especially people like us, when you are a doer, you don't wait
mm,
for acknowledgement. And
mm,
but
true.
then you don't realize, because I actually, when the nomination was, when my team told me they said you are being nominated, I was like,
Mm,
wow, I didn't realize that I'm so weary. I was weary. I was like,
mm,
oh,
mm,
I'm so tired. And
mm,
where you're thinking, today I'm not going to that orphanage. There's an orphanage we support. I'm like,
mm,
this month I'm not going. But ever
mm,
since that nomination came, besides the excitement, it's now, yes, I'm going to do it. I
mm,
can do this
mm,
now. Like, and even my team, if they'd come for this podcast and said, let's put on this makeup, I was going to say,
mm,
let me just
mm,
go on. But now I'm
mm,
willing to work with them because as I really can see that even for them, it's not just Dr.
mm,
Machaba.
mm,
They know because in our
mm,
office, they know who Dr. Machaba is. I always tell them, Mina, actually, I'm married to Simelani. I am Mr. Melani now. I'm not a Machaba. Dr. Lethabo Machaba is a brand. So
mm,
I can see they are more excited than me. It's like, yeah, doctor,
mm,
somebody's
mm,
noticing. Come on, tie
mm,
the hair,
mm,
put on that,
mm,
put on the jacket. You can do it. Go there, and
mm,
even the topics, it's
mm,
like, no, go work on these topics,
mm,
find the
mm,
topic, the punchline, and so
mm,
yes, no, really, I have no words, and I have to acknowledge, ah,
mm,
well done, and may God
mm,
bless you, because even besides anything being done, you changed
mm.
2026 for me. You have made it a year of greater and bigger impact. We were
mm,
even able to shoot more educational content as well. And even
mm,
I do have a foundation.
mm,
So
mm.
now when your team is pooling, you're able to create more funds, you're able to give out more funds to the community.
Yeah,
The
true.
business side of medicine now, I've actually even now we are raising more leaders.
Mm,
Our some of our workshops this year, like for Limpopo, I rather sent
mm,
it to the doctor. I
mm,
said, "No, you go represent us." She's like, "No, I
mm,
can't go without you." I said, "No, you will go," and I chose to stay. And when she
mm,
came back, she was like, "Wow, I did it." I
mm,
said, "Yes, you can do it. You did it." And you see,
yeah.
so I just want to say, yeah, no, this nomination, it's amazing how when sometimes you see things on the media, you just think, but what's the point of awards? Why must people get awarded?
Mm,
But
mm,
we have to understand that we are created to, you know
mm,
what, to give and take. And
mm,
if
mm,
giver and giver and giver, if at some moment in time you yourself are not getting poured into, you run out
mm,
of. So thank you for being our oil, for lighting our
mm,
lamp, for
mm.
we are, if it wasn't a podcast, I would even do this.
The vendor dance. You
The
give us
better
the
dance,
vendor
and then So I mean, that to be honest, that was the reality. It was the
dance.
black woman. We don't hide.
Mm.
So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's
no,
true, especially, because we noticed there's an organization that normally when you see a healthcare professional trending on social media, it's usually due to bad publicity, as if there are no good stories that are happening there. That's actually the reason why we even created this platform to say, you know what, we
mm,
want to share the good stories that are happening in the health industry, because sometimes people think that there's this misconception that if you are in private practice you are all about money. That is why you don't even want to work for the government, and it's
yes,
not like that. The
it,
way
no,
there's so much to do, and the way doctors are doing, or healthcare professionals are doing so much for the community. That is why we've created this platform. And because you are used to giving, you I feel like other people, they don't believe that, no, someone nominated me, no, I can't accept this nomination, because whatever that I do, I'm not doing it to be recognized or celebrated
yes,
or awarded. I'm just doing it because it's a calling. But it's like when God gives us a gift, when He says He has given us the gift of grace, or the Holy
yes,
Spirit, up to us to receive it. And I can
yes,
imagine if someone gives you a gift and you reject it, it is so painful, because we do see it, because we receive a lot of nominations, and unfortunately other people will be feeling like, no, 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 I'm doing this, for the community, not to be, not for media, not to be celebrated and all that. And unfortunately, when we go back to the people who nominated them, maybe they are patients or peers, to tell them that unfortunately Dr. So and so didn't accept the nomination, so don't be surprised if you don't see them. So, and a shame,
ah,
they feel so sad that we really wanted him or her to know how much we appreciate them. Because I remember I had a conversation with the overall winner last year, Dr. Satere from Pulukwane. So
wow,
he was sharing that he never realized the impact that he has made in his community until he was
wow,
nominated, because
wow,
a
wow,
lot of people were sharing with him, because I think he's been a doctor for 30 years in that community.
yes,
So he was sharing that people sent him messages that, doctor, sharing their stories that, I remember coming to your practice. I remember this, I remember that. I agree, you really deserve to be recognized. And it was like, it's so nice to, receive your flowers while you can still smell them.
that is beautiful. I think he really put it well in good words, because to be honest with you, true givers, you, as I said to
Mm,
you, Sylvia, you are
mm,
not waiting for somebody to say yes, yes, look, and it's people. Even I know Prof Satira, like, it's people who've been working for so many
mm,
years,
mm,
relentless,
mm,
serving and
mm,
serving and serving. So even for
mm,
me as well, I must say, it helped me pause,
mm,
and I'm happy in that it helped me not to slow down. It's just to pause to
mm,
say, wow,
yeah,
if then
mm,
this is what it means to do, then let me be a better version of myself. Let me go out there
mm, mm,
and do. And I always say to people that even they need to understand that even wearing makeup is us serving. Some of us don't care about this small stuff. We do it for the community, because this
mm,
is the
mm,
this is apparently this is what, for example, in media, if I use media, this is how you're supposed to present yourself as excellence. So
mm,
it's
mm,
effort. You are taking time to do it. You are doing that, but at the end of it all is a human life, a human being,
mm,
and also
mm,
just being God's hands and feet to show
mm.
that love and that care. Yes.
Mm, no, that's true. And every successful leader has people who believed in them. Who would you like to thank as you celebrate this nomination?
So for me, I've got a lot of people that I really want to celebrate. One of them is I cannot not start with two men. I know I
Mm,
spoke about women who are my mothers and their aunts. One
mm,
man is Pastor Murigwe from Venda.
mm,
He's the one that I
mm,
said in a time where there was no resources and in a village, he positioned his church as a community center. So we're able to
mm,
go there and not be in the streets, and at
mm,
the same time just get a word and good teachings. Then the
mm,
second person is my sponsor, an American billionaire who took me to university, Mr. Jerry Gallagher. I really would
mm,
not have gotten a higher education and become a doctor without him. So those are the two men that I feel that directly touched my life, not indirectly, but directly poured and were
mm,
God's vessels to actually get me to be here. And a lot of the
mm,
principles that I hold now come from them, just to see
mm.
love displayed, love that touches. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. And why is it so important for doctors to then understand the business side of medicine? Because that's another exciting thing that you do, and that our viewers are excited to learn about, especially in the healthcare community. So now let's go to your baby, the business side of medicine. What is it all about, and why is it so important for doctors to understand the business side of medicine?
Sylvia, there's a story behind the business side of medicine. In 2019, I had the privilege of owning my own private practice. I started out
Mm,
in a group practice with other doctors, but
mm,
then because of things didn't go so well, I had to now go on a separate journey.
mm,
When I was starting out in private practice, my practice is part of Santon.
mm,
Santon, I think in Durban would be like your Umhlanga. So it's really an upmarket. You are
mm,
dealing with professional CEOs, executives, and other doctors coming in as clients. So I
mm,
realized that, sure, you know what? There's a lot about this business that I don't know. So
mm,
thankfully, because of that group practice, I was thankful. I did learn a few things like the accounting
mm,
must be right.
mm,
For example, the dynamics of the practice manager and how to work in the medical space. But there was a lot missing, like marketing. How do you market a practice?
mm,
And so much more. Can you diversify a practice? Can you advertise a practice? What
mm,
also forms of registration should you have as a solo individuals? The structures. And for
mm,
me, as I said, sometimes lack or being put in rough places, it's always a blessing. Yes, at
mm,
that time I felt very despondent. I felt like I had nowhere to go. I was trying to find places where I can go, where I can get learning about medical business. So while I
mm,
was still trying to figure it out, thinking that okay, no, let me work out my own thing. Then I started having other pediatricians coming to me as clients. They would
mm,
book as a client. Then I'd say, okay, where's the baby? They said, if you can get a solo private practice in a
mm,
hospital like the one that I'm
mm,
in, then you
mm,
definitely have something to teach me. So I
mm,
was feeling like, wow, I can't teach you. I'm still figuring it out myself. So then we
mm,
started having this one billing and business doctors in private practice. We used to have them on weekends with my previous PA assistant, Tabi, saying she was good at billing. And I also found that she got unemployed because of, I don't know what had happened there. And
mm,
then, before we knew it, I was learning while teaching at the same time. And that is when now they were saying that no, there are so many doctors, more than 1,800 unemployed doctors. And in that mix was pediatricians. So then eventually we realized that now the rooms are getting full. I don't have enough space. So then in 2022, I engaged a friend of mine, and Ellen Gray actually gave us a space. They launched us. We had the first business side of medicine through Mustard Seed, and there we had so many doctors that came. And then I just shared my story. Then I realized that, oh, you know what? Since there's no specific medical business, certificate or business degree that you can do, I don't know if the MBA answers that. I've seen doctors who've gone for MBAs. They do seem a bit better, but where is that supposed to are we supposed to get that from? And that's when we started having experts in the field coming and teaching at the same time, growing businesses. So it was a matter of teaching while you're getting taught. And now we've grown into spaces where we don't just do workshops. We've got a trade group, a trade WhatsApp group where we actively trade, we incubate businesses, we coach, and as well we collaborate. I can't even say business side of medicine is one person. There are so many businesses and so many other platforms and organizations within the business side of medicine, which I felt that that name is really generic. It's nice because it is really just the business side of medicine. So whatever organization you have or whatever business that you have, when you come to, you can be independent, you can still continue. All we're doing is encouraging each other, creating networks and spaces, and also saving people 20 years. Because I find that there's a lot of gatekeeping in medicine, and not only that, that lack of knowledge, something that took me 10
true.
years to learn, I can teach you in 1 hour.
Mm.
I always say to people, because I find there's some people who come to my stage, and I remember there's one speaker who says, "No, Lethabo, I can't tell them this. You know how
Mm.
much I suffered to get this." And I said
Mm.
to her, I said, "Yes, now think of it, just by you just showing that, no, you know what, it actually, you don't need 10 years. If
Mm.
you just don't even start like this, just do
Mm.
this. Here's the blueprint, and then
Mm.
here's the content, because that's what we try and do in business out of medicine. Even me, when I coach people, half the time we are exchanging contacts and numbers. I say to him, call this person, say Lethabo said I must come. And people will always come to me and they said, I can't believe I'm set up in an hour. Not in an hour, like in 1 year. An hour is too little, sorry. Like in 1 year, and I've already started the right way with the right name, it's a name that other people can come and sit under, a brand. It's easier to get people to sit under it if it's got the right name. For example, Kids Heart, than as opposed to 20 people wanting to work for Dr. Lethabo Machaba. Nobody told me things like that. And then when you start, for example, how to diversify from the beginning, what are the products and merchandises you can sell right from the beginning? What is the right registration? How do you take saves? How do you structures to register your practice under? How to put a PTY under your holdings and your practice? All these structures, nobody taught me. I had to learn as I went by. But we are so thankful that ever since then, we've managed to now encourage a lot of other business groups to start. The dentist industry as one. We've seen other platforms where I also serve even there I've served as a advisory council. And I can see that it started after the business side of medicine, but they have more resources. They are able to do more. And I always say, as more the merrier, because whether I'm serving, whether you are serving, whether I'm giving, whether I'm taking, as long as if we understand the mission and understand that you being a star cannot dim another star. A candle, by lighting another candle, does not lose its light. And
Yes,
I think
yes.
that's what wisdom is about. And I can see, Sylvia, to be honest with you, a lot of people struggle with that. There's a lot of people, I can't
Too
give
much.
that, I can't give you,
Sure.
maybe after 5 years, come back.
I've also
And
suffered, so you must also suffer.
where does that come from, Sylvia? I don't understand where that comes from. And I feel like it is really, really making us very slow. It's delaying us. We are delaying ourselves. Yeah.
No, that's true. And what common mistakes do doctors make when starting a private practice?
So number one is a lot of doctors just go in blindly. It's like building a construction without even digging the foundation. So,
Mm,
number one, for example, they don't even have registrations. That's something that we've had to help doctors with. They come,
mm,
they just finished internship, they did not go to HPCSA and get the certificates, and they have not
mm,
gone to the Board of Health Funders to get registration. Then, number
mm,
two, all of them just are convinced that the only way you can be a doctor, I always hear that a lot in at BSOM and also on the coaching sessions. I was told to just be a sole proprietor. I was never
mm,
told about being an inc. And if there's three of us, there was no structuring to protect assets. So those are the
mm,
things, structures, finances. Number three, paying subs. People do not
mm,
understand that you need an accountant. We see,
mm,
even now, I found doctors, old doctors, who owe
mm,
subs in the millions because they have been doing their own taxes. And I always say,
mm,
Doc, we respect you so much. You studied for 6, 7 years to become a doctor. Don't
mm,
you now understand that, accountants, they also have gone, they know their craft. They
mm,
have understood that this is how you can not just take saving, this is how you can actually pay SARS, and this is your PYE and all of that. So
mm,
SARS is a big thing. And I've seen a lot of doctors lose practices because of SARS, where SARS comes
mm,
and close them off or freeze their assets, and then
mm,
they don't even realize that if you have an accountant, you can come to an arrangement and make an arrangement to pay a certain amount. They are
mm,
negotiable. But if you don't even know that, and then as well, things like how to market appropriately,
mm,
a brand. Elijah taught us that a brand is like it's an identity. You are born with it. It's like your
mm,
fingerprint. How all of
mm,
us have something so unique about ourselves that nobody has. The only
mm.
thing that happens is we are not taught how to present that uniqueness.
Yes,
So we
true.
become copycats. So I see
Mm,
Sylvia is beautiful, she's doing well, this is her brand. Then I think the
mm,
only, if I want to succeed, I must be Sylvia, do it like this, not
mm,
realizing that no, there's something so unique that only you have it in this world and can release it, and need to make sure that you just need to take time, even get a professional and learn how to market it yourself and position yourself, and
mm,
also just be responsible with your brand. As
mm,
some people just post anything, they'll post themselves hanging on a light and not
mm,
realizing that one day that hanging on the light will be the same thing that will close all the doors for you, because how are you going to partner with certain brands that are actually looking
mm,
for. And yeah, and another thing is good things take time, Sylvia. So doctors
mm,
want to
mm,
set up practice, go and buy the excellent house with 10
mm,
bedrooms, drive that car, the biggest
mm,
car with the biggest engine,
mm,
and then have the kids that buy their clothes from here. And I think
mm,
that we do not understand the art of delayed gratification.
mm,
We
mm.
we feel like we've suffered so much to get to
Yeah.
where we are, and our daily job is to give others beyond ourselves. For
Mm,
very fact, when you're working in a public hospital, you come home finished, and private
mm,
medical
mm,
is also just as much. You can't
mm,
leave sometimes because there's nobody else to hand over to. You need to hire a locum
mm,
if you want to take. So
mm,
delayed gratification and understanding that if you want quality, you will
mm,
need to allow time, and don't
mm,
compete with anybody but yourself.
mm, mm. Yeah, I know we are learning a lot, and I believe that a lot of doctors will definitely come to you for the mentorship and coaching, because clearly you've been in the game, and with your experience, and also with your passion for sharing, and grooming other upcoming medical doctors. Yeah, I believe that we definitely assist with the issue of unemployment rate that our country is facing, because it is a very, very serious concern. Because I mean, if you are from growing up, we knew that if you are a doctor, there's no way you can be out of a job. Like, So, but now things have changed. So, which means medical doctors or medical professionals needs to now start really thinking hard about, the business side of medicine. So, Dr. Lethabo, if your younger self could spend just 5 minutes with you today, what advice would you give her?
Number one, I would say don't take yourself too seriously. Mistakes
Mm,
happen, failures
mm,
happen. You will not always get it right the first time, and it is okay. Go back to the
mm,
drawing board, find out your strengths, accept your weaknesses. If you can change the weaknesses, work on your weaknesses, but at the same time, keep going on with your strengths. So I
mm,
would say, all these things that, go on, take it a step at a time, take others with you, and
mm,
do. I know it's a cliche when people say do you. I won't say the
mm,
other part, but be
mm,
authentic to who God made you to be in this world. It is better than just doing you, because who you are can be very small minded. But the
mm,
plans that God has for us are just
mm,
beyond. Like for me,
mm,
some of the places where I have been to, had I just trusted my own intent, my own thinking, my own mind, I would have been very limited. And if I
mm,
had just chosen to write the story, yes, we do apply strategy, we do apply ourselves, but I really believe that do take time, little Letabo, stay
mm,
quiet in God's presence and ask Him, ask for wisdom, ask the Holy Spirit, is this my next move? And you know what? You
mm,
can save yourself a lot of heartache. And,
mm,
yeah, so I believe let's be directed by God and also by others. I'm so thankful.
mm,
There's a doctor at the moment that I really respect, Sylvia, Dr. Bibi Petla.
mm,
She's really been amazing. I've realized she's been doing this doctorpreneur journey for a very long time. And
mm,
there was a time when I was also feeling like I'm about to give up. And
mm,
just by stepping into her experience, I found out,
mm,
wow, there's so many avenues. I haven't even looked into that yet, which she tried and which she's
mm,
done. So we mustn't be
mm,
afraid to get coaching ourselves, to get mentoring
mm,
ourselves. So that's what I would say. Don't take yourself seriously. It's okay to fail, but at the same time,
mm,
get wisdom. Get wisdom from above and get
mm,
wisdom from others because they can save you 20 years.
mm, mm. No, that's true. And finally, when people hear the name Dr. Lethabo Machaba, many years from now, maybe when you've retired, we don't want to say when you are dead because, yeah, we know that we're
Yeah.
going to die, but it's going to happen, yeah, at a very, very late age. But we know that you are going to retire one day. What do you
Yeah.
hope they remember most about you?
uh, Touch. I
Mm,
want them to remember touch and impact. I
mm,
want them
mm,
to say, had it not been for that woman,
mm,
I wouldn't be here.
mm,
That's what I want to
mm,
be remembered for. I want to be remembered for an impact that can be touched
mm,
and that can be measurable.
mm,
That's
mm.
what I really want. And I trust and pray God for bigger platforms to do
Mm,
that because really, really, if there is somebody called a destiny helper, it is me. I
mm,
am
mm,
there. If you feel be me being a knob, I will be the knob
mm,
as long as if it doesn't go
mm,
against my principles. If
mm,
you need me to wash your car with you, I will wash that car with you. And I
mm,
really have enjoyed doing it for many, many, many people. And I
mm,
trust in God to continue doing it for many, many people because I am the fruit of that. I am
mm,
the fruit for somebody doing it for me because somebody else did it for them. Yeah.
No, that's true. And I guess when you pour into other people's cup, your cup also gets refilled. And I believe that that's how God also blesses you, because I also fail sometimes to understand people who are so selfish, even with just information, and they'll be feeling like, no, 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 I can't share this. Yeah, I also suffered to get it. And you don't understand, Uzi, but like, really, why don't you
Yes.
trust? Because there's someone that opened the door for you, or there's someone that shared that information with you. It does not matter how long it took you to discover that thing. But the fact that you are there, why don't you want to be the light for the next person? I just hope and pray that one day in our industry, we can just have a mind shift, and be
Yeah.
willing to share information, share knowledge, share networks, just share, because it's so nice when all of us are successful. I mean, because like you were saying, that
Yeah.
each person has a unique gift, because when God formed us in our mother's wombs, He had great plans for us.
Yeah.
So, and you prospering, it's okay, because that's what God has planned for you. So, and it doesn't take anything from me, like you were saying. But
Yeah.
yeah, time flies. I think we need to have another session, Dr. Lethabo, because wow, there's so much to learn from you. Thank you so much for joining us on Behind the Scrubs Couch. Your journey reminds us that healthcare leadership is about far more than clinical excellence. It's about creating opportunities for others, empowering others, mentoring future leaders, and leaving every space better than you found it. Because
Yeah.
you, like, through just this conversation, I'm not where I used to be in terms of knowledge wise, and being inspired. And congratulations once again on your nomination for the 2026 African Health Excellence Awards. And thank you for the incredible impact you continue to make across Africa. I can't wait for the 14th of November. I hope your outfit is getting ready. I hope so.
Wow. Wow. The team. Don't forget, Sylvia. I said there's a
Yes,
team.
you have a
The
team.
team.
Yo, I
The team
I
will
should
make
also.
sure.
You must borrow me your team as well, so that they can just manage my life, because I see they are doing an excellent job in managing your life. Mm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
yeah, thank you so much for joining us. So we are looking forward to having you again in future.
thank you so much. May God bless you. May God increase you and increase your impact, Sylvia, because you see, today I'm also a fruit of you.
Mm.
You can write my
Mm.
name there on your list. Thank you very much. Thank you to
No,
you
thank
and the
you
team.
so,
Thank you
so
so much.
much. Thank you so, so much. May the Lord bless you as well. Everything that you touch may turn to gold. May He increase you in a way that you have never, never, never imagined.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so, and thanks to your team. Please tell them we said thank you for borrowing us their doctor. I know sometimes maybe the patients were like, we want to see the doctor here, we want. So thank you so, so much. Please pass our gratitude to them. And to everyone watching, thank you for joining us for another inspiring conversation. If today's episode inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Join us again next time on Behind the Scrubs Couch, where we celebrate the people behind the profession and correct health misinformation, one conversation at a time. Till then, stay blessed.